What's up YouTube, Day here for Zephyr Wargames. We're here with Donald, and Donald is bringing us our next part of the Spirit Warrior deck profiles, and that is Weatheries, or they're now known as what, Weather Painters?
Weather Painters, yeah.
Weather Painters. The artwork is absolutely stunning on this deck. The technicalities behind it, not so much set in stone as of yet, but it's still a very, very cool and fun deck. So Donald will be taking you through his profile now.
Alright, so for me this is going to be deck 56 of all my decks. Yes, disclaimer that this deck is made for fun, and yes, my sleeves are bigger than the cards themselves, as it's for other card games and such, but I can't help but prefer artistic sleeves. So, okay, straight into the deck. Generally, I've only just picked this up today, not gonna lie, but first off, straight off, I can say I play free Snow, or the Weather Painter Snow. When you normal summon him, or her actually, really, when you normal summon her, she allows you to add, place the weather spell or trap from your deck directly straight to your zone. And all the painter's effects is that they have an effect where if they've been banished to activate a spell trap effect, you can then, during the next standby phase, you can special summon them anywhere, the banished cards, so themselves. So essentially kind of like Omega, you tag themselves out and they can return to their spots. Next, I do play the Weather Painter Sun. What he does, if he's in your graveyard, you can send one of your face-up continuous spells or traps to the graveyard to then special summon him. And if you do, you place one the weather spell or trap from your hand onto one of your zones. And just like Snow, if you banished him for a spell or trap effect, you can special summon him back. Next, we have actually free Weather Painter Rain. If she is special summoned, you can place the weather spell trap from your hand directly to a zone. This is ideally you use it with the trap, the thunder trap, thunder canvas, as I'll explain to that later. But that's all she really does. Sadly, she's the only super of the monsters, and it's kind of a shame to see that. But nonetheless, she allows you to place your weather spell traps directly if she's special summoned. And remember that if you banish her, she does special summon back to your side of the field. Next, I play free Thunder. When he is on your side of the field, you can send one face-up continuous spell trap you control to graveyard to then place one weather spell trap from your deck directly to your side of the field. It's essentially exchanging one of the weather spells or traps for something that you may prefer to have. And just like the others, he special summons when he gets banished. Next up, I play free Cloud. He is your recycler, essentially. If another face-up weather card you control is sent to the graveyard, you can target up to the weather spell traps in your graveyard and place them onto your side of the field. So it's great for resource managing and basically gaining back your spells and traps from your grave. And last but not least, I do run free Aurora. Though she is the only level 6 of the deck, I do highly recommend playing her at free. Because when she is normal summoned, you can place one weather spell trap from your hand, deck, or graveyard to your zone. Though in my build, I've been generally special summoning her with the effect of Valhalla, which I'll get to on to a moment. But other than that, she protects the weather spells and traps. They can't be targeted by opponent's card effects, and they can't be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Essentially, at least having her on the field is great and ideal. So that's it for the monsters. So as you may have noticed, I do play free of everything. And the system is actually, the ratio has been alright for me so far. So next we move on to spells. The best spell of the weathers. This is the spells and traps are canvases, basically for the archetype. So snowy canvas. When the weather spells and traps, when they're face up on your side of the field, they give the monster effects that are in front of it and the one next to left and right of it, the column, that space, the following effect. So essentially giving the monsters an additional effect, which as follows for each canvas. So for snow, this one, if you banish you can banish one of the monster itself to then add the weather card from your deck to hand. You can't add any other cards after you use this for the rest of the turn, except by drawing them. So essentially search, but that's all you can do from adding from deck to hand. In this deck, that's all you're going to have to do. And with each canvas, you can only control one. That's the rules with the canvases. So next, I play Triple Cloudy canvas. This allows you to have the monster gain the ability to banish and target one face-up monster on the field, halve its attack, but it can attack directly. So you can use this as a defensive maneuver. If your opponent tries to destroy it, you can tag it out, halve your opponent's monster, or you can use it as an offensive capability to halve one of your own monsters to then attack directly for game, essentially. So that's that. Next, I play Free Sunny Canvas. This allows you to banish one of your monsters, target one other monster, tribute it, and then revive or special summon from your hand or graveyard one weather monster that wasn't it's not the same name as the tributed one that had it on the field. So essentially switching out your weather monsters and then gaining effects. Next, I do run the one of Rainy Canvas. This allows you to bounce, give the monster to banish and bounce one spell or trap on opponent's side of the field back to hand. I only play the one, as I haven't really considered when playtesting it today against the Magical Muskets. This has been the least predominant one to be going into. So now, for the rest of the spell lineup, one Raigeki for board white, just standard. I do play two Sentry in the Sky. With all the weather monsters are fairies, it's a nice tech so it protects them from you taking any battle damage involving battles with them. Two Twin Twisters for back row destruction. As I realized, if you didn't want to bounce them, Twin Twisters is the option to destroy them, basically. And probably my fun tech of the Valhalla Hall of the Fallen. This has actually worked out pretty nicely. If you control no monsters once per turn, you can special summon one fairy monster from your hand. Ideally, this is how you want to have them at 3 so you see it, but attempt to try not brick with it, as you need the monsters. So this allows you to special summon one and then normal summon another, allowing you to effectively swarm, because you can then use the tag out abilities for the canvases, makes it basically freeing up your monster spaces again for next turn, and then allowing you to special summon even more monsters to the field. So that's it for the spells, and to round up the traps, I do run one Aurora canvas. This is a particular nice trap, I think, where if exactly one card has been added to either player's hand, you can banish the monster to then banish the target that's been added to hand, and then that player who banished the card will then draw one card. So essentially, for example, let's say Spirals, if they added a big red from Quick Fix, you can then use this, they banish the big red, but then they get to draw one card. So it's a guarantee to get rid of the search, but you then might have them draw into something else. And last but not least, I have the Thundery Canvas at 3. If the monster, at the start of the damage step, if the monster battles an opponent's monster, you can banish the monster and then bounce the opponent's target back to hand. Non-target bounce, which is quite nice. Though you can't use this in the damage step, so it has to be on as it says on the start of damage step. So that's it for the main deck, a 40 card main deck. For the extra deck, I do recommend playing at least 2 the weather painted rainbow, but I love the fact that you can go into 3 of her quite nicely. You can drop this to 2, play at 2 is fine as well, it's up to you. But her effect, if she's on the side of the field, she can banish herself, negate a summon, and her second effect, the monsters that she points to, they gain the effect where if a card or effect is activated, they banish themselves to then negate and destroy. making a very strong card. If you're able to swarm the field, have it in the extra monster zone, all the monsters in the zones it points to then basically can negate anything. So a very powerful card. I do recommend at least playing it 2. I have it 3 just to have a nice set in general. As for the rest of the extra deck, it is generally generic rank 3s. So what I found out was having one 47 to attack directly if need be for damage. I play double break sword so that you can not only destroy a card but also free up the extra spot afterwards. And I run the one Crystal Cosmonaut. This is your sort of defensive maneuver where you can play it into, if you haven't got anything else, protect itself and they take any damage so they wouldn't forcefully attack into it. And I thought it would be a nice show of my triple Levier, but because the Weatheries banished themselves, you can then revive them back, see how it all plays out, but probably at least 1 or 2 would be a nice consideration. Now for the Link monsters, they're sort of generic ones. I've tried out double proxy because once you've gotten to the weather, you can then special summon more and then open up more zones if you so wish to. 1 firewall, 1 borrow load. Same again because you've used up your weather painter to then open the zones, or you can help to extend plays, or as it stands, give the better attack boost because weatheries unfortunately don't have the attacks by base standards. That's where the spells and traps comes in, and the 1 Deco Talker to round things up. So that is pretty much it with the weatheries. I do suggest to try them out because they're actually quite a lot of fun, and they can be a bit slow, and from what I've been testing, you can brick if you only have spells and traps in your hand. So it's not ideal. You might want to run around with the ratios. Please let me know if you've come up with any other ideas, as I've only just picked this up, and let me know what you think in the comments below.
Yep, so that is Donald's Weathery. I'm going to call it Weathery, but for now, but obviously it is Weather Painters deck profile. Regardless, it is an absolute stunning like art, especially the rainbow. It is annoying that rain isn't a secret considering the rest are, so that might trigger your OCD for you guys out there. Regardless of that, it is a beautiful set. It's a fun deck to play. It is not a throw everything in it, it's a meta deck. It is pick up the bits and bobs. It's probably going to be the cheap stuff out of Spirit Warriors and kind of go from there. But that is the profile. Like we said, it is in the testing stage. It is going through its changes, so it might still adapt. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. We will have some tester duels coming up with this against Magical Musketeers at the weekend, so check that out to kind of see the play style of the Weather Painters. So like the video, give us a big thumbs up, share it with all your friends, comment if you have any suggestions, or you just want us to do a certain deck profile or have any questions for us. We'll try our best to answer them. And until next time, guys, as always,
happy dueling.
If you like that video, why not check out our other videos available? We've got more deck profiles, pack openings, and of course duels. And don't forget to click on the most important button of all, that subscribe button, right in the bottom left hand corner.